Well, hello, everybody. It's funny, I was just switching over I'm back in my car instead of in that van, so now I have the Sirius satellite radio, and I was like seeing what the song syncs. That's funny. My Girl Josephine by Fat Domino. Um, what the song syncs will be if I put them on. Red Light Special by TLC. Especially while I'm talking or when I'm doing reading. Sometimes I'll let that guide me. Like I'll just, even if it's a song that I don't know, I can look at the title and go, aha. But usually it's a song I at least know the melody and the chorus to and stuff like that. And I go, oh, okay, all right. Like both in terms of when I'm open to messages from anyone, especially my DM or like to me. Anyways, Spirit just dropped a bunch of things in my lap, and I was just like, I was torn between because some of it's mixed in with the DM collective, right? And I was like, okay, I could see a DM collective reading, and I could see a DM channel. Like I could feel those in there, but like it's all wrapped in with my stuff too. And it's like, well, am I supposed to tell my story in with the collective one, and that can be the message? But what I'm kind of feeling like, at least right now, is that I'm gonna talk about my feels about my Cabbit on this, and then like I can always redirect people back to this and say, you know what, go and listen to my last one on there, the you gotta know when to hold them one, and then I don't have to necessarily make the other videos quite as long, because I don't know how long I'm gonna talk. It's funny too, that song. You gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, and when to run. Like that's a song that not only does my Rudebug love that song, but like that was a song sync like this time last time in the Spiral Cycle, so it's like totally fitting right there. And funny thing is, when I met him when he was 23, one of the things he did that was not so great for him, and I'm glad that he does not do it so much anymore, was he used to go to a casino called Parker's and play 21 all the time. And he didn't lose all the time, but he lost quite a bit. And then everybody else would go over to another casino called Goldie's, and like it was a big thing. Like a lot of people just totally just all out spending all their money on drinking and gambling. I was actually grateful that I was too young to join them in many ways, because it's like, I mean, it's fun, like totally. But anyways, the the other thing too is like right before our separation officially started, and I told him, "You go grow up. You take your current messiness away from my beautiful manifestations until you can at least learn how to say sorry better when you make a mess." I don't even necessarily want him to stop making messes. I just want him to get better at picking what he wants for him. You know what I mean? He's so used to having somebody control him. And the funny thing is, like, until he has that time to be by himself and know who he is when people aren't telling him what to do, well, for one thing, like, the love ain't real no matter which way you go, because you're not being yourself. So even if they love who you're being, it's not really you. So his relationships could definitely get better if he did that, of any kind, me or anyone else. And then on the other side, too, it's like when you get into relationships based on need, like like love cannot exist in need in that way. You know what I mean? Like, yes, when you love someone, you feel like you want to be a part of them always, but you don't need them. Like that's the difference. Like when I talk to a lot of other twin flames, or I do coaching and stuff like that, or even with readings, it's like, look, I get it, okay? Like I fucking get it. That pull, yeah. But you gotta first get through the shadow work of codependence healing, because that's the only way you're really gonna know, along with the length of time, is it a viable relationship? One. Two, do you still actually fucking want them once you've healed your codependence? Because you might not. You might be like, wow, nope, that was totally codependence, right? Or, and then on the other side, are they your twin flame? Like, there's gonna be a lot more signs of it when you are no longer anxious about time, distance, communication, shit like that. That's when you know. That's a hard one. Is like, I know at least in the past, that's gonna be easier to answer from here on out. But so many people will be like, "How do you know? How do you know?" And it's like, how do you put it into words? Like, like I knew in my heart the whole freaking time, but I could not know, like intellectually, if my intuitions and emotions were correct until I got way, way, way down in layers of codependence, and like in shedding them and stuff. And then working on anxious attachment and getting to know myself better, staying in my own lane, doing my own thing. And but it's funny because that gambler song, like, so yeah, like I said, right before separation, like I had gone to meet a friend at a casino. I don't typically gamble. I think I maybe put in $40. I'm a Capricorn. You know what I mean? I'm like, no, I could. That money could go to getting delicious food that I could make delicious food with for making for my cabbit. Well, at that time, I think I spent the $40 because I was like, well, fine, I'm not gonna make you dinner, breakfast. You know what? That was still the hardest thing for me when our couples therapist was like, you have to withhold. You have to withhold the affection. You have spoiled this man. Like, he's not going to change anything because you get into this place where you will just keep giving affection because you're right. It's not good to be in a relationship where you're withholding affection, but you're not with somebody who's at a healed level where they can play at that level just yet. And it's like, ow. It's not even that I couldn't go without. It was more like, but I like giving to him. I like spoiling him. I like pampering him. I just wanted him to pamper me a little bit more too. Not even a lot. Like I don't like a lot. I like flashy occasionally. I like go hard or go home kind of stuff on occasion. Definitely want you to fight for me. Like if there's a situation or a time in a relationship or friendship and stuff. Like not in a like fisticuffs way. Like in a hey, that lady's cool. You leave her alone kind of way, or that's my lady. So you stop looking at her that way. I don't even know. I don't even know. So I'm so open to all of it. It's like it's all there. I just like to be balanced. I'd rather be in the in betweens than on either end of any extreme. It's just kind of part of who I am. But that gambler song, it's funny because when I was thinking about all the signs and synchronicities that have been coveted, and the part of our story that feels like it's circling back in and that it's probably going to be the thing, I want to say, that liberates him. Like, there's a lot of, oh man, it's funny. There's a lot of energy that's coming in. I'll do, if any of you listening to this, I'll do a collective reading because, like, I know it's a part of the collective that he's in, but there's so much of it that, like, it could be different things. Like, I think you know what it is. Like, I'm thinking about the story actually, like, early on when he got everybody into the house all by himself and shit after being scammed and everything. I swear, it's like watching him, like, it's like, when you see the families that, like, cross the ocean in a small boat to get to America. Like, it's kind of like that, but then, like, add, like, 200-pound bags of sand on top of his shoulders while all of the family rides on top of his shoulders. Like, that's, like, I'm like, damn, look at you. Like, and I'm probably the only one who's like that with him too. I used to think like I can't be the only one that thinks like that, but I think I am, and I think I like that. I think I like that. I mean, I won't be the only one like that forever because people are going to hear my videos and be like, I like to be like that too. Though I'm good with being the one right now. In any case, when he got him in there, he had a moment with the new person. Well, whatever. I'm just fucking saying her name, with Tina, and he messaged me after because it was like what he should have said to me in a fight that we had. Which is funny because his sister's always saying, well, I feel like she just got in the way of one of y'all's fights. Hey, Ashley. In any case, so there was a night that he was in his house, and it was like he was trying to get things settled, and his karmic Tina was like, I'm gonna go for a walk, and then she was gone for like hours and hours. And so when we were in a relationship, like, I started getting stressed with him and the pirate shit, the exes and all that stuff. I'm like, look, it's not even like, I'm actually a very low jealousy person, and it's like I have my jealousies, yes, but I typically don't play into it because I know if other women are trying to do shit, it's like it's a trap, you know what I mean? It's a fucking trap. But then I learned that he likes a little bit of the jealousy, and I was like, oh, we could play with that. There's lots of kinks that have to do with jealousy. But I think I intimidated him more in the fact that I was like, oh, you want to do that? Like, how can we how can we make this work so that we both enjoy it? Like, if we can both enjoy it and be consensual about it, I see nothing wrong with that. And in any case, so, like, I used to go, and I would go for drives, and I'd just go sit somewhere. maybe they were shit that they say to me about what they think that she's doing is like, I mean, I could see them saying that about everybody because they project like all women are the same. They're worried that they're the same. Like all the men do the same thing. All the men are the same. So I could see it. Maybe this is the story that they told him about me too. It'd be funny. But in any case, like he never communicated to me clearly, like what he wanted that had to do with the the fighting that caused me to go for drives and sit there. And it's funny because what it was is he was complaining to everybody that he had to do everything all the time, and I knew that wasn't fucking true, and I got tired and self-righteous, and so other than the daytime stuff and then making sure the kids were actually safe, like if he was in a real bad mood or something, I would be like, no, y'all come with me. But otherwise, I let him do everything. I let him cook dinner, do the laundry, clean the cat box, pay the bills. Like I didn't borrow nothing. I didn't work. I was like, you know what? First of all, you've done this before, and then like he's done that stuff before in his past when he was younger. And then on the other side, it's like I remember when I first told him to go take his messy manifestations away from my beautiful ones for a while and find himself. I oh, where was that thought going? I don't know. I was thinking about, like, I told everybody, I'm like, I know what to do to make him, like, to get him to stop being weird or ambiguous, to get him out of the stuff with the karmic and all that stuff, and get him back if I want. Like, I know what to do. Like, you're not with the guy for fucking 15 years and, like, interacting with him on relationship-esque level for 20 and not know exactly what to fucking do. You know what I mean? Like, it's not rocket science. He's really complicated. He's hard to control too because he's got Aries and Leo placement. So you really have to know. You have to know him really well, and he's Cancer too. So like, I know how to do it, and I mentioned to them somewhat of what I knew to do, and it's the tit for tat thing. Like sometimes you gotta not come down, but sometimes you gotta go to a high enough place that you can let yourself be in your shadow and be in a self-righteous indignation sort of space. You know, like you don't want to be doing anything that's spiteful or hateful. That's the hard thing. That's why I didn't want to go back to it, because it was like in the past it was like, I don't want to chase you. I don't know what to do with you. I don't want to do exactly like you're doing, but I know the only way for you to have the empathy for what you're doing to me is if I do it to you. And like, so I knew that some degree of that, probably not even as much as I would think of what I would have used in the past, would have done it. Like, he's been checking this whole time, these whole 22 months, like, if I still care, if I'm still there, if I'm still open, am I with anybody, is that new friend actually a girlfriend, even though he knows I'm pretty hetero. I'd say hetero flexible, but it's very rare when it's not a masculine male that I am attracted to. And mostly just him. I think it's because I have a Capricorn Venus too. It's like we're like swans. You know what I mean? Anyways, the funny thing to think about though is like, so then this karmic Tina, she does this thing. You know, she's gone for several hours, and then she comes back in like nothing's wrong at all, not knowing that this was an old fight of his and mine. And he mentioned something like, you were gone a long time, and she's like, oh yeah, well, if the kids weren't here I would have gone way longer. And he like, I was proud of him because he said he remained calm and he communicated. You know what, that's really messed up that you wouldn't even think about me in that. You wouldn't even, because she was already trying to talk about marriage too. It's like, you're right. And it's funny because like, I loved how proud of himself he was for both speaking that to her and then telling me he did it. Like, it's like, good job, you're right. Like, the counselor is right. This is a good place for you to practice boundaries, right? That's what he always said. Anyways, so when I talked about that night, like with his sister, with other people on my end, like consistently, most of them said they betted that she was hooking or being an escort. Now, I have no intrinsic problems with sex workers. I've even considered it. I don't know. I'm not even going to rule it out for the future. It's just not my thing right now. Like, I don't feel like, yes, I want to do that. I'm like, nah. And I'm kind of the same way about dating, though, so I don't think it's necessarily to do with the sex work. But, like, if that was the thing going on, and I remember I did not say anything to him about it because one, I assumed if rumors are rumors, he's going to hear the fucking rumors. Two, if it's true, she's going to get caught at some point, especially with borderline. Like, she's going to overdo it at some point, and he's going to find out. And they had several breakup moments that I'm sure that he probably did, and that maybe not find out the full deal, but like the energy coming in for the DM collective too is like all the DMs are kind of finding like, I don't know, it's funny, I'll have to do it in a different reading, but it's like he's on the collective, and I know a few other DMs around that I chat with that are very similar, and like it's things it's like they had, it's gonna be weird to say, I want to say higher level karmics, but it's more like lower level karmics. Some of them were even what a friend and I referred to as other dimensional beings, which is a weird topic that I'll talk about another time. It doesn't make them inhuman, it just, there are other things at play. But so like some DMs had so much like past life karma and just stuff from this lifetime, that like shit that they needed to learn about and atone for and recognize like what they did and why they did it and how they did it so they can get the fuck out of it. And then like some outdated thinking that was based mostly on what their family thought and like repeating old cycles. But it was like such big stuff, like big stuff, that there was like lots of karmics, not just people karmics, like thinking cycle karmic, like bad behavior patterns, like not doing self-care, overworking, things like that. But actual like real people karmics, not just like lovers, but like family members, friends, shit like that, like lots of them. And here's the part where like I want to teach this more too, is like you always got to recognize that everything's happening for you, not to you. But a lot of these DMs have been in the place of, this is happening to me, I'm powerless, I'm stuck, blah blah blah, which is one of those karmic thoughts, right? Like once you're in something, you're stuck in it, or once they stick you in it, you're stuck in it, or once you're married, you're stuck in it. Like, this 2021, you ain't stuck in shit. You know what I mean? Like, you can do whatever the fuck you want. And there's plenty of other people that are going to like you, so if you need to drop everybody like a bad habit, you can do that and go find yourself a whole new fucking community of people anywhere. Like, that would either be at least just as, you know, as whatever good you had from what you left behind, if not better. You know? And the other great thing about that too is like when you leave old communities and you go into new communities, you can be a brand new person because they never knew the old you. So like they're not going to hold you in that space. A lot of times family, friends, people like that, they hold us back. And you know, they're like, but you did this before, you fucked up before, remember your ex, like she totally fucked everybody up, you know. Like sometimes you've got to leave the old communities behind so that they're there manifesting all that shit on you. You know what I mean? It's really challenging to grow when you're surrounded by people who know your old story and they're not healed enough to let it go and actually go, yeah, you know what, I know you can do it, you got this, right? Like, I see the new you and shit. But the thing that came through to me is like, I mean, there's a lot of big DM stuff, like there's big things happening because they went into a higher level experience, and because of that, like, they needed a higher level, like, I want to say, one, fall from grace, and two, like they got in, a lot of them got into various different commitments between work and relationships and things like that, and they were genuinely putting their best effort into it. Like, they wanted to grow. They wanted to be the man that holds the commitments, that, you know, no matter what their other person does, like, they still hold it and shit like that. Like, they wanted to be better than they were before, whether they were with you yet or not. Like, I don't know who's listening on there, but like, I know it, like mine, like, you know, it's so funny, so many people have been mad about the shit that he'll tell me that he's doing for her that he should have done for me, and it's like, you know what, I feel that, I totally feel that, but you know what, I'm more proud of the fact that he's showing me that he's being a better man than he was before. Like, I would take that with him in a karmic relationship where I have to deal with some ouch feelings over, like, seeing him not do it at all, you know what I mean? Not growing at all in there. And like, what better way to observe whether he's growing or not than from the outside? Like, that's, you know what I mean? Like, that's the way that I think about it. A lot of people are like, you're, like, they're like, I wish I could see the world through your eyes. And then other times they're like, you're just too big a heart. And I'm like, you know what? I am just right for me. And I'm just right for my DM, and so whatever. Like, you can be happy about that if you want, but I'm keeping my experience. It makes me feel better than yours does. And yours makes you feel, for that matter, you know. And in any case, so the syncs that are coming through is like they're reminding me of that night, and like the hooking thing, the escort thing, and I'm like, what's kind of making me laugh is I just like put a post out on my Facebook because I've been like pickling the pirates, and I was talking about how, the funny thing is, like, what I wanted with and from my DM was very simple. I wanted him to get the healing that he needed so he could feel whole, so that whether he wanted a relationship with me or somebody else, he could actually experience stability and self-love and stuff like that. Like, we already went through couples therapy for several years. Like, I know he knows what he needs, I know what he needs. There was kind of a set plan when he left, and it got derailed by Miss Damsel in Distress, and his first wife, who was like, ooh, I can have my affair at your house, like fucking like it just like Jumanji style, of like exes and everybody else coming in, family and all that, and then rivalries and all sorts of shit. And like, I could see, like, everybody's been trying to tell me, like, oh no, he's just playing you, or he's doing this, or he's doing that, and he don't like her, he's gonna get out, he's miserable. And I'm like going, for one thing, y'all make up your fucking mind. But they're sitting there going, he has a plan. And like, for a minute, I was like, maybe he does. And I thought about all the potential plans he could have. And I still always came back to this place of like, that man ain't ever had a plan in his life after y'all killed his dream of wanting to have like a shop and to be a musician. Like, that's what he really wanted. That was his plan. You know what I mean? But everybody fucking told him it was a waste, or that even if he had talent, it would be too hard and he's got to pay bills and shit. And then he got his first wife pregnant, and I mean, like, he fell in love with his daughter. I'm glad he had that experience. I'm not unhappy about that, but I'm still mad that people were like, you can't follow your dream. Like, yeah, you can. Don't fucking listen to those people. Don't take advice from bitter people that don't want to follow their dreams. The fuck are you doing? You know what I mean? But in any case, it's funny because they're like, he's got to have a plan, or like, he's doing this to you on purpose. And I'm like going, no, I know My Cabbit. I even checked it with a few friends that I have that knew us when we were living in the house and stuff, and it was like, they agree with me, like, no, and you know how many text messages I have of him saying, I did not think this all the way through, and me sitting there going, I know, like, I know you didn't. Like, this was one of those where he was used to women who like stand in the way when like nope, you're gonna hurt yourself. But I had kind of already done that a lot, never to the degree that anyone else did, but it was like, no, it's like, oh, what is it when Bugs Bunny steps out of the way, or no, Roadrunner, like, right, like Roadrunner steps just out of the way and then Wile E. Coyote like falls down the hole or runs into the wall or something like that, you know what I mean? It's like, I mean, my intentions weren't to like make him get hurt, just to allow him to make his own decisions and his own messes, and to do my best to get better and better at not trying to fix it, and not trying to give advice, and not trying to, because that's the way we did it the first time around when he was married the first time. But it's funny because like, now I'm sitting here picturing, like, I already knew, like, I realized it like 12 months ago, and I was like, no, what, I'm listening to my intuition. He has no plan. He's doing his best, and he's sharing it with me because he wants to be with me. But like, he also like, part of the reason he stayed in it so long is because he didn't want me to see him as not having had like at least greater success in it. And like, everything's been drained from him: money, emotions, like the relationship with our kids and shit, relationship with his own fucking family. Like, he was really, I mean, I'm proud of him, because like, he put all of his best into like something that was most definitely supposed to be let go of a long time ago. I even told him, I'm like, your lesson was already done a while ago. You already came over and told me that you learned it. You were supposed to like, hey, go, okay, this ain't good for me, I'm getting out of this before you got married. But it's actually better this way, because like, I know that he did, like, even despite some bigger failures on the overall end, he did better emotionally in the relationship that he had. And I know there was plenty of people like you and his little fucking sisters were jealous of how he was with this new person and shit, like, and so I know that, like, he definitely did his best. Even though I know he's unhealed, and it certainly wasn't, it's not his best, and I know that she had to put up with a lot of shit that I'm like, I love him and I hate not having him in my bed, but right now I'm so glad you're the one having those arguments with him, not me. You know what I mean? Like, by the time, like, if she had no temper, he says she rules by iron fist and shit like that. So it's like, I mean, I hate it when my Cabbit is being mistreated, and I love spoiling the shit out of him. But like, Spirit reminds me regularly, though, like he wasn't able to quite appreciate it as in the depth that he could have before. And now that he's been with Miss Drill Sergeant for real, like he definitely appreciates it, you know. And so what I was writing on my Facebook though is like in terms of manifestation. So I said earlier, like, what I wanted was for him to follow his original plan that we talked about in couples therapy about him doing individuation, being on his own, getting to learn who he is and what he wants, so he can have better relationships with himself and overall, like, whether he wants to be with me or not. Like, that's what I want. And it's not just for the healing. I know that man. He wanted that so fucking bad, and he's so disappointed in himself that he got tricked by going to do some damsel in distress shit. And like, I know he sees it, but he's been holding on because it's like the karmic he's with's been really, really good. I mean, not perfect. Like, obviously he's seen some shit. Obviously there's been some breakups and some other shit like that, but she's been good about hiding the stuff that would really, like, give him permission to be, like, done. You know, like, I fucking gave you my bad, like, self-righteous indignation level. Like, I can't fucking believe you. You know, especially after everything that I've been doing with my fucking bratting and letting my fucking feelings out and shit like that. Like, and I'm gonna be livid with her, and also highly amused, if I'm correct, if these signs and sinks coming in are that either she's about to get herself caught in, like, doing escort stuff, or he's about to find out, or someone's gonna give him the information, like a frenemy or something like that of hers, or some shit like that. Like, I don't fucking know. I don't know. But it's like, it's a combination of, like, I'm gonna be pissed and I'm gonna be laughing at the same fucking time, because, like, the post that I put up on Facebook was talking about the manifestation of it, right? So what I want is irrelevant, because like, there's a ton of pirates and potatoes on his end and my end that all they see with me going, hey, he's getting suicidal, he needs help, I don't want my kids to lose their father this way, y'all are telling me this person's fucking scary and all this shit, need help, right? But everybody's in this space of, like, looking at what I've been doing as a romantic gesture, which I knew that they would, but it was interesting. It was like, I'm gonna do it anyways because it's the right fucking thing to do. That's what a fucking loving human being does. Like, even if you don't fucking like somebody, that's what you fucking do. But I was laughing on the manifestation end. Like, I was talking about this with my kids. Like, they're bringing that manifestation in because they haven't healed enough to recognize that a person can love someone and recognize that it's not good to be in a relationship at the moment, and not trying to be doing any ridiculous women's games, and also and can also be what everybody's fucking worried about. Like, you could exist in all of those things in one time, but they don't. Like, in their language, sticking up for someone or, like, making a fuss to try to help them and shit like that, it's all about, like, ownership and weird fucking women-y games. And in the past, I would have been annoyed about that, but Spirit whispered a secret to me. It's like, no, let them, because, one, they've already been manifesting it. Like, they spent 20 months, like, trying desperately just to keep him from coming to me. Like, I didn't even have to really do anything. Like, he kept coming to me. And, like, I'm not complaining. You know what I mean? I'm not. Like, I just set the standard that we weren't going to be over at his place because the person he's with has borderline and zero boundaries. She's not managing it, and it wasn't good for the kids, and I don't want to be around that. You know what I mean? So, like, he came to us. And I'm just laughing because it wasn't even just her. Like, I mean, it took so many people to drain him so fucking much and send all that energy. And then what it was is, like, when the eloping happened and shit like that, Spirit says, just wait for it. And I was like, what? And he's like, just wait for it. I'm like, okay, Spirit. That's weird, but all right, I don't need to know everything. And then I realized about a month after that it was like, oh, I get it. Because manifestation, if you break it down into its super simple form, my 10-year-old does it this way, is like, you think about what you want, you feel how it would feel to have it and shit like that, and then you do something else so that you can kind of release it, and then it comes in. The minute like, you know that you really released it and no longer need it, uh, because it comes in, like, it almost like drops in your lap. And when you get good at it, you can be in a place where you recognize that, like, you can both observe it happening and have it drop in your lap. But usually it's just more fun to have the pleasant, the unexpected pleasant surprise come in, right? So I was thinking about it, and it's like, this would be funny. So, like, everybody's thinking, even people on my end that should fucking know me better than that, like, my romantic gestures are completely different. I'm not saying that there isn't some amount of romance to it, because I'm fucking sticking up for his life and shit like that, and I'm sticking up for against all his fucking bullies and things like that, but it was not its own romantic gesture, you know what I mean? And, like, but everybody thinks it is. Like they're all stuck in these weird ass fucking high school drama scenarios and shit. And I'm going, if I think about manifestation, like, this is funny. So they're feeling how it would feel if he was to leave them, either for me or because of me. And they've been thinking that beforehand. I'm sure that like, one of his old immaturities was he compared his exes to his current and shit like that. And I know he did not heal from that shit. So I'm sure my name came off his lips anytime he needed a good defense. Like, Amanda would never do that to me. I'm sure. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure it was fucking, or Amanda would do it for me. You know what I mean? And he's got my shit all over his fucking house. Like, intimate shit. Like, cuffs and collars kind of shit. Like, I'm sure that he's encouraged it because he likes the jealousy games and shit like that. So of course he's fucking playing with it, right? He's been more disappointed that I have not played the jealousy games too much. I played a little bit because he told me he liked it. Otherwise I wouldn't play at all. But, like, otherwise, no. I'm like, no, you need to do your growing, and I know you're bullshitting me, but you're telling me you want to be in this other relationship. So be in another relationship. I want to see you do it. You know what I mean? I want to see how it goes. Because that's what I'm like. Anyways, so, but I'm thinking about it, I'm like, they're manifesting it, and the really great thing is they've been manifesting it for ages. They tried to bribe me away, they tried to fight me away, they tried to outsmart me, but none of them, it's not even a thing on them. I have an incredibly high IQ. It's been something I've been tested for multiple times as a child and an adult, because there are some complications in being smarter than most people in the rest of the world. Oh, I was going to compare it to something, but that YouTube would probably ding me for it. It's like a men's challenge. Anyways, they didn't go very far with the intellectual stuff. It was like, no, I'm not going to go there with you. I'm right. Like, or you want to go intellectual, okay. But then they were like, well, but Tina doesn't understand your big words. And then I was like, yeah, that's unfortunate. I'm still going to use them, though. Like, get a thesaurus. That's what they're for. And if you're feeling insecure about what I'm doing, go to therapy like me and Rudy did. That's what that's fucking for, And, like, I'm just like, I know I'm not doing anything wrong, and I'm in my fucking own lane, because she was trying to pull him out before I even told him to go. It's like, oh no, you kept it in my lane by not having enough self-discipline and integrity to fucking wait until I told him to go. Like, it's always going to be in my lane for that reason. Like, you could have waited. Anyways. It's like, I don't make your choices. You make your fucking choices. You can blame me and give me all the credit if you want to, but that just makes it more amusing. Like, you'd have more power and authority if you owned your own shit in the process. You know what I mean? Anyways, I was thinking about it, though, and it's like, okay, so everybody's already, like me and him ended up thinking and talking more with each other because of everybody else's insecurities over the past 22 months than we probably would have if he had been on his own. And if I'd been, like, out of my parents' house on my own, you know what I mean? Like, we probably would have thought about each other less. Like, that's the great irony of it. But because that happened, and because of the eloping, Spirit told me, wait for it. And I'm like, okay, I don't even know what, but I'll wait for it. I don't know what the thing is. And it said, no, what you're waiting for is for them to relax, like, feel like they won, and this is the trap set, and nobody would ever say anything, right? Like, nobody may be like divine feminine if it gets really fucking bad, who never gave a crap about respecting toxic fucking relationships in the first place, right? And then Spirit starts showing me, like, my DM comes over and is telling me it's even shittier after the fact, which is, I tried to keep my mouth shut most of the time, even when I knew something shitty was going to happen, because I knew it was just going to be looked at as I'm being the fucking jealous ex. And so I'm going, okay, that just means you got to learn these lessons on your own. I said some stuff in the beginning. He would told me he wished he would have listened to me and shit. But when it got to the point to where he told me I could tell him I told you so, and then started talking about being unalive and stuff like that, I was like, oh no. Like, I mean, when I met him, I was cool with a friends with benefits relationship with him while he was entangled in a toxic relationship. I would never step on or get anywhere fucking near like an actual healthy one. In fact, I don't even get near toxic ones anymore. But he's got privilege, okay? He's got fucking benefits from me. Even if he fucking hates me, it's like, nope. I have no fucking problem violating those boundaries since you violated them in the first fucking place, because we were common law married and he just put out a fucking proposal to me on Facebook. So why would I have fucking respect for what you got? You ain't fucking earned it. In fact, you shit in your own fucking backyard to made it easy for me to have self-righteous indignation about it. Like, you ain't got no fuck. It was Spirit sent me a message because his guilt always gets the better of him. That's why I stopped getting to the place of like picking it out of him. Like when I knew he was guilty, it's like, no, you're a good person. You will eventually tell me the truth. Because they tried to hide it from me. They tried to. And you have a bunch of other people that are all mad at you too. It wasn't fucking because you're worried about me doing a romantic gesture. You hit it because you're a shell of you. But like, either way, it was like when he said that I could tell him so, and he was done, and that is like, oh, like, no, like, I only held my tongue before because it would mean upsetting his daughter because she doesn't know a lot of the truths about everybody, and that it could possibly push him away. But I'm going, at this point, like, if he's got his life in such a fucking bind, I would rather have a longer no communication period with him and have him be mad at me, because I know, one, it'll help, and two, it means he's feeling something, so he's not checking out into unalive world, and three, because I don't need anything. Like, I don't need people to see me a certain way. I don't need anybody to be in there. And like, I would like support. I fucking ask for support, but most people are too apathetic right now, and they're like caught in their own other dimensions and of selfishness and shit. So like, I just went into it expecting that nobody, like, expecting some people would help with that. I could do it just fine on my own. And like, and I am. Like, I've always been like that. I became less like that when I was with him, because he's much more social and much more, oh, what the family thinks is matters and shit. That's where we've always differed. It's like, oh no, you should always love your family, but if they're bitter and hateful and resentful or paranoid, like, don't take their advice. Like, don't take anybody. It doesn't fucking matter what anybody. Like, don't fucking take the advice of people who are fucking paranoid and shit, or bitter, or like, no, remember this time you fucked up, or remember this way that this person fucked up. Like, people that are in that energy are telling you who the fuck they are. Don't listen to them. Listen to yourself. You know what's right and what's wrong, And but then I'm thinking about it, and it's funny. So the post that I put up, I'm like, so they've been thinking about it. They've been feeling it. They've been worried about it. I'm sure he's been using me as his fucking way to, like, brat everybody, because it's the only thing he fucking got. Because, like, I'm so fucking high caliber, too. I'm sure all you got to do is mention my name, and everybody's like, rah, 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 rah. You know what I mean? Like, they've been talking shit about me all over the place, too. I'm, like, using magic to try to hold me back, and I'm going, this is great. So, like, Spirit's showing me that, like, it's going to boomerang back. It's going to boomerang into me everything they've been holding onto. Because here's the thing with manifestation: sometimes all you have to do is get to that place where you can let go of whatever you were attached to, whatever outcome you wanted, whatever person you wanted, whatever thing you wanted. Just 5 minutes. Sometimes you just, like, it's not even that there's delays. It's that when you can get to that space where you can go, I want this, it would feel this way, this way, this way, this way, and then do something else for at least 5 minutes, you'll see manifestations coming way fucking faster. Like, you got to do a fair amount of shadow work to get there first, but, like, I mean, really, like, I mean, what's not cool about that shit, And so I'm thinking about it going, the rule, too, is, like, the longer you're fixated on something, like, the longer it takes to manifest, but only because you're fixated on it. But the more you're fixated on it, the more you feel it, right? So if there have been, like, 15 people at least that have all been, like, actively trying to make sure that he doesn't come back to me and we don't get together, and if we do, they, like, do something afterwards or some shit like that. And then if they thought that they won, or everybody was like, oh, the battle's lost and shit like that, they had that 5 minutes at least. Like, I'm sure it was more than 5 minutes, but it was like, they let it go for a minute. They thought that they won, and that's when it started coming in. And it wasn't even me that began it. I just saw the signs of it, and it was like, I mean, my concern was like if I'm wrong intuitively that he's going to just be able to magically get out of it on his own because I do believe in him that much, then it could cost him his life. And I'm like, what would I care more about? Like being embarrassed to find out that he was being a jerk to me and that I embarrassed myself for no reason, or like being if I was wrong and either he just faded off or he committed suicide or he overdrank himself or she fucking did some shit to him or fucking kids did, like if I didn't do at least most of everything that I could fucking do to help, I would feel so fucking shitty. Especially because I know what everybody's been fucking saying about him, including his own fucking family. Like, they're encouraging him to fucking fall. And like, I've been open to him falling. I know that when he gets there, like, that's going to be good for him, but I've never been pushing for him to fail. In fact, I had a lot of people trying to get me to do it, and I couldn't if I tried. It's not in my fucking makeup, you know what I mean? Especially not with him. And like, I'm so glad that I didn't. You know what I mean? Like, I know he's been fed full of a bunch of lies and gaslit, and he's so fucking tired that he probably thinks I'm a bad guy too right now, but I'm okay with that because I know him. He's gonna come out of this fucking awesome, and he's gonna see me and be like, "You're pretty fucking awesome too." I'm gonna be like, "I know, right?" But the funny thing is, though, it's like a lot of these pirates of potatoes, the karmics, like they even if they get it, they have not focused on their healing, so there's nothing they can do about it now. Like, once they thought that they won, once they thought that like the marriage would be enough or something like that, it was not even me. Like, it's the way that fucking it's the way that manifestation works, law of attraction shit works. And he's done enough work on that on his own that even if they like didn't know nothing about it and it wouldn't affect it, it would affect it in his mind because your consciousness is what fucking makes shit happen, right? So the minute that they relaxed on it, it already started coming in, and that's why he ended up running over to my husband to be like, you can tell me I told you so, and I still didn't. I still didn't fucking say it because I don't do that shit. But the funny thing is it's like then like they're like it started happening, and then they started doing shit, and then I'm like, okay, you know what? I would rather be embarrassed later and make a mistake in it than not listen to my heart and my intuition. If nothing else, for even if he fucking hates me and screws me over, at least he's fucking alive. Like that made me very fucking happy. You know what I mean? And not an emotional zombie and shit like that. Like, I'm fucking good with that. I would like a lot more than that, and I know I'm gonna get a lot more than that. I deserve it, and I know that the truth's always fucking out. So like, I'm okay with the wait in the middle. Like, it just makes it more juicier. Like, the longer we go with them fucking lying to him and shit, like, the more pissed he's gonna be when he finds out. And I think that's that's so funny. On the radio, India Re Video 1, which was one of the first songs my masculine showed to me and said that he felt like I was like the song. I was like the lyrics in the song. In any case, that's where it got to it. So it's like I'm picturing Pirates and Pickles, like, they were over-focused on us being together, us doing it, me not succeeding, him not succeeding, blah-da-da, all this shit. And then they think they win, so they stop thinking about it for a minute, right? And then, of course, as like anybody would predict that knows basic psychology, the minute that they were married, she got fucking worse. And that kicked it off. That got him over. I saw it, and it was like, okay, so I'm seeing this happen already. Like, I'm going to do what feels right in my heart to do. I'm going to do my head and my heart. I'm going to be smart. Like my head says have faith. Like, if you trust him and you know that he can do this, then he will. You're manifesting it. And my heart was like, you know what, though? If you're fucking wrong, like, that's going to be a whole fucking different world. So, I cut the difference and went down the middle. I split the difference and went down the middle, And now I'm thinking about it, too, is like, he hates public embarrassment. Like, well, all toxic people do. I swear, like, when you've got healing, it's like, go ahead, embarrass me, baby. I have already gone through my shadow work, and I own all my fucking shit. What you got? You want to put some nudie pictures? I'm a bit of an exhibitionist. You know what I mean? Like, what you got? But when you're unhealed, it's like, oh, no, people might know that I'm a human being, and I'm not all light, And he's been in that place a little bit, too. Like, I know that's part of how he's been stuck there, too. Like, even in trying to do his best in it, it's not that he hasn't tried to leave. I've watched him try to leave, like, 12 fucking times in the past 22 months. But I'm, like, sitting here thinking about this big energy coming in, the Titanic energy, the Titan energy, all that shit, and thinking about that sink, like, and everybody, including his sister, says she's probably doing escort shit, and that would be enough. Like, that would be enough that, like, the minute that the truth was like right there in front of him, he'd be like, you know what, that voids the vows, like all of it. Especially you fucking doing that shit while we're fucking married. Like that repeats the cycle that he was supposed to heal with his first wife and shit. And that would also be in the space of like, I would laugh because he's such a brat, but he is also like, he is very thoughtful to me. I've also gotten hurt the most out of all this shit. Even though he's gotten hurt a lot, he knows he fucking hurt my heart so fucking much of this. As much as I would like to be like, you never hurt my heart. Like, he did, and he knows it, and I've been honest about it. But, like, it's so funny. If it wasn't me, like, he would just go find someone new and do his bratty fucking games with them. But he knows that I'm comfortable holding space with it. I've kind of done my thing from, like, in Greece where Sandra D, like, goes a little bit bad girl and shit. Like, I'm there. I'm like, I'll play. like, what? I mean, I got a lifetime, and, like, whatever happens, whatever consequences either that I earn or that I don't earn, but people bring on anyways, it just means, like, I'm already at rock bottom, so, like, let's climb. Like, what you got? You got some more rubble? I'll burn me a castle out of that shit, Could you throw another brick this way, please? like, who do I gotta piss off to get some fucking cement over here? You know what I mean? I got a cornerstone to build. And, so, like, I know that when he finds out, it's probably gonna be one of those, like, he could be such a brat, and if he gets into healthy self-righteous indignation, he would more than likely want to, like, even if it was only temporary until he could be back in his own again or something, or even as permanent, I don't know, I don't care what people think anymore, you know what I mean? Like, come right back in. It might not be the healthiest, but as long as we're getting better with the kids, I'm fucking good with that. Like, I'll deal with your weird bratty ass. I'm on a whole fucking another level of enlightenment and comfort with things. Like, I know how to handle you now. like if you want more time, take more time. You want to be in the toxic tangle for longer, do it. It's kind of amusing. Or you want to come here and be sweet. You want to show off. You want to, like, do all the stuff to them that they were saying that we should do to each other. That would be hilarious. And he has got such a delicious bratty streak. And, like, when the truth is revealed of whatever fucking big shit that's really been going on and stuff, I know that, one, he's going to feel like the biggest jackass in the world. Not for the I told you so, but because I genuinely, like, eat your heart out, motherfucker, made a fucking fool of myself to save that man. Like, and it wasn't just, I want you and it's romantic. It was like, I fucking care about you. I don't care about the rest. It's like the money, all the fucking rest. I feel like, no, fuck it. It's not fucking worth it. But you living in this fucking world and staying connected with our children, that's fucking worth it. You matter. Like, fuck what anybody else thinks. Like, eat your heart out. You know what I mean? Like, even if he stayed, even if it galvanized their relationship, you don't get more fucking romantic than that. I'm the fucking romance master. I always have been. I always love romancing him. Like, it's not necessarily romancing anyone. It's him. Like, he's so adorable with it. And I know, like, whether it's, like, a day, a week, a month, another year, like, whatever the fuck it is, like, when he finds out the truth, he's gonna be the most adorable fucking version of himself for so long, and I'm so looking forward to it. Maybe, like, partly nervous, but then also bratty, and, like, I know him. Like, he tried his fucking best in this fucking dynamic that he was in. Like, he did so many fucking things, and I'm like, yeah, part of me is hurt, but I love you. I'm fucking proud of you. You tried real fucking hard, And, like, even if he's mad at me for some shit and wants to go for a while, I know him. Like, he'll talk to me just to piss them off. Or he'll, like, watch my videos or listen to this shit just to piss them off. And in the past, I'd be like, don't be bratty. Now it's like, no, we're in Scorpio season. Embrace your darkness a little bit. Like, be more benevolent. Don't wish him ill. Don't be spiteful. That's bad karma and shit like that. But you know what? Speak your fucking piece. Say your words. Even to me. I'm still waiting for it. I'm not sure whether his first message to me is going to be like, I fucking love you. Or it's going to be like a 10-page essay on how he knows I did the right thing, but he still has feelings about it. So, and he's not sure what to do with them, and he knows I don't deserve to have them laid on me, but I also really like hearing his feelings, so it's partly a gift. Like, some sort of long-ass fucking intellectual cancer-y message that only I get the privilege of getting kind of thing. I don't fucking know. It'll be nice to see. I don't know. I'm in such an energy that it's like, I think this shit's already happening. I think it was happening, and that's why the awareness came to me, and the synchronicities and the other shit, and I'm just like, I don't know, he might even surprise me. Like, he might do something totally out of character for him, and I'm looking forward to that too. Like, I'm open to whatever outcomes. You don't want to talk to me for a while, sweetie? That's fine. like I get an awesome fucking story. I got plenty I could do on my own. You got our youngest in the adventures of keeping him safe among your pirates and shit, and like that at least keeps you going and stuff like that. And like, there's a lot of stuff I could do in the meantime. You know what I mean? Like, you could go, you want another year, you want another 10 years. Like, I'm 35, I got time. You know what I mean? Like, it don't bother me none. And, or if he wants to, like, come and be friends, I would love friends. I was actually, I was like, I want to be your friend for a while. I was thinking that in 5D. I was like, I mean, if my heart's right and then all your fucking behaviors are right, and even our therapist and everybody else that I'm like likely like 99% right about everything about him, that like even if I'm right, it's like, wouldn't it be fun just to be friends first? Like, I mean, we got forever. Like, once we dive back into it and we add in all the other stuff, then we lose all the fun of that. Like, can we go slow just for fun? Like, neither one of us have done that in the past ever. And it's like, and on top of that too, I mean, I don't know, like I love doing friends, but like I want him to make sure that he knows, you know. But then I get in that place of like, why am I holding him out of place? Why am I holding him in old space? Like, it might be that whatever the fuck his karmics and shit do is enough that he's like, he'll probably pull out the old list of shit I told him that he needed to work on and like prove every one of them to me. It'd be like, there, done, 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 so that he could feel like he's done. I'd be like, well, I'm open for that. It's funny too, like even on the end of like, let's say he really fucking believes them, he believes I'm the bad guy, and they all want to fucking try to do some shit, like I don't know, like court or some other fucking shit like that. Is like, it's okay, because the bigger drama you turn this into, the more upset he's gonna be at y'all when you get caught. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't got nothing to lose at this point. And I got everything to gain no matter what happens, even if they just give it up and they're like, nah, she's not fun, we can't make her unstable or unhappy about any of this. And that was the only point of what we were doing. And so like, whatever they do, it's like, my story gets good. Like, I read, if you keep him longer, you lie to him longer, you do this shit longer, I'm gonna be out here having fun. And you know what? That made him way fucking jealouser. Well, jealouser, that's not even a word. Way more jealous over the past 22 months than me being with fucking dudes or doing other shit like that. Like, my level of independence, I don't have somebody tell me what fucking time to go to bed. I don't have somebody to bitch and moan about who I talk to. I get to flirt with. I told him one time, I was like, don't you tell her not to worry. I flirt with everybody. I'm a free agent. I do what I want. And part of that too is like, you could be having this, but you don't. You don't, because you were scared to be alone, and I'm not scared to be alone. So I don't have to have a curfew or a warden or anything else. I'm going to be out here doing what I want. I'm going to flirt with that guy over there. I'm going to flirt with him. That guy over there, I'm going to flirt with him too. And you know what? That girl over there, I'm going to flirt with her just for you. Like, I didn't tell him that stuff, but it was kind of that attitude of like, what? Like, if you got rules in your relationship about not flirting with people, you should listen to them. Kind of like I tried to talk to you about in our relationship, but me, I don't have to listen to your partner. Like, she's not fucking me. She not paying me. She ain't getting she ain't cleaning my house. She ain't even being friendly to my children. Like, and she's not even taking care of you. So, like, what reasons do I have to give a crap about what makes her secure or insecure? On top of that, healthy emotional security says you don't make yourself responsible for how other people feel. If she's feeling insecure, that's what motherfucking therapy's for, just like me and him and our kids did. You know what I mean? Anyways, that's funny. On the radio now is Michael Jackson in the closet, and on the clock was 53:53, which is 8 and 8, which is 16, which is the Tower. And victory. Alright, y'all. I'm probably gonna go do some door dashing. It's been the first night I've been able to get back to it in a while. And then I will probably come on and do a DM collective read for this Taurus full moon eclipse. Or I think it's a partial moon eclipse, but I'm gonna look at it. I think this energy is that Titanic and Clash of the Titans energy, and like, it's definitely secrets revealed. I mean, we're in Scorpio season, so like, duh. But I don't know. I didn't do this as an intention of like necessarily being messages to anybody. This is just because I enjoy talking about them, and it's my place to do it. But if you get something out of it, like, take it. You know what I mean? Like, I am a medium, and part of doing this on here is I was like, maybe somebody else will get some messages from this too. I don't know. And either way, I love y'all. I'll see you in the next video.